Beth, you okay?
You all right?
Yeah.
I stepped on my shoe.
Oh,
What's your face already?
yeah.
If I got a mark, I wouldn't get that.
Well, the EDA, is somebody supposed to serve on that? Yeah, no,
They're not appointed the same way.
they're not appointed, so, okay.
Those are appointed by EDA recommendation.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, let's go on to possible reinstatement of public comment. I would entertain a motion at this time and open it for discussion.
Well, as you know, I had offered to do that a few months ago, and you said no. I think it should be held at the end of the meeting if we want to.
Okay, I need a motion.
You want further discussion before you make a motion?
You're going to work, if you're going to, you just left out the most important part of this meeting, and that's the Robert's Rules of Order, which is not a law, but it's a procedure to follow the orders. And before you can discuss the motion, you have to have a second.
Well,
Not on small board.
No, you don't. Not with 3 board members.
Huh?
Not with small boards, you just need a motion. You don't need a second. Not with 3 boards. Now, if it was
If
a
you're
larger
going to
board-
abide, if you're, of course,
the new-
they haven't adopted it, but if you're going to abide by Robert's Rules of Order, you need a second to have a discussion.
I respectfully disagree.
Okay.
But I understand where you're coming from.
I'll second.
okay, we're going to address that shortly. All right. There's a motion made, possible reinstatement of public comment. Am I right? Open for discussion.
Well, I think we ought to reinstate, but I have a little different view about how it should occur than apparently Shirley says that it should be at the end of the meeting. I feel that we could have and you can tell me if this is acceptable. Public comments at the beginning of a meeting, and if anybody had a generic type comment, they could make that comment at that point in time. And the reason that I say that is that there's a lot of people who might like to make comments, but if it's at the end of the meeting, when we convene at 9 o'clock, we don't know if it's going to be 11 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the afternoon when we finish. My feeling is if you just want to address the county commission and it's not on a specific issue, then come, put your name, excuse me, put your name on the list, and you can speak at the beginning of the meeting, and then you can go about your business. If you wish to make a comment about a specific agenda item, then you can stay and could be heard during the discussion. Is that acceptable?
Yes, that's acceptable. This is from the West Virginia Ethics Open Government Meetings Act, when they address, are governing bodies required to allow members of the public to speak at a meeting? No, you don't have to allow them to speak. However, you're encouraged to have a public comment period, and that's what you guys are discussing today. A governing body may adopt rules which impose restrictions upon public comment, such as the amount of time which will be allocated to each speaker. So you can choose to have a public comment period, and you can choose the type of restrictions you want for it. And that would be a decision for the commission to make.
Okay.
I think it should be restricted because we get out of hand.
I agree, and maybe 5 minutes. I don't know, 5 minutes max is my suggestion, but that's open for discussion.
As a citizen, I'm speaking in support of this. And if you're going to allow a public comment period, then the comment, when you sign up for the comment, you should have what subject you wish to speak about. Because you could go on and rant and rave about 27 different subjects.
Right.
So if I come in here and I'm going to speak about the floodplain, I will put down, I want to speak about the floodplain.
Makes sense.
Now, if public comments on something that's not on our agenda, you understand we can't act
You
on
can't
it.
hassle on it, but it can be put on the next agenda to be be addressed.
Correct. Correct. As long as everybody understands that. I don't want somebody to come in and get up and speak for 5 minutes and say, well, what are you going to do about it? Well, if it's not on the agenda, we can't address it.
Take it under advisement and have it on the next agenda.
Yes, okay. So, anybody else got any oh, Tammy, sorry, I didn't see it.
You might want to also restrict speaking about personnel,
Well, yeah,
because that, you can really get into some touchy situations.
right. That's a
Somebody
good point.
comes in here and says something and you may not agree, disagree, or whatever, take action, but you've allowed it to happen.
That's a good point. Anybody else got any input? Shirley? Yeah,
I agree that probably the first of the meeting,
first
that would
meeting.
be better.
Well, we have to vote on her motion, or did you?
No, I didn't make a motion actually.
Okay.
I was commenting.
Okay, then I will make a motion that we adopt a public comment policy that will include a period of time at or near the beginning of the meeting, and then allow public comment during the various items on the agenda to be limited to 5 minutes per speaker, with obviously no personnel issues being brought up in public comment.
Are you saying only if you can address what's on the agenda? That's just what you said in your motion.
Now, I said to address at the beginning of the meeting on any issue, with the exception of personnel,
Right. Okay.
and if they so choose, to then address the county commission during items on the agenda.
Okay. All right.
Yes, go ahead.
Can you be on the list to speak more than once?
Yes.
So it'll be 5 minutes per subject, at possibility, and 5 minutes at the opening?
Yes.
Okay.
That's true. That's all right.
I have no problems with that at this
Readdress it
point.
for clarification.
Pardon?
It's,
You can readdress the subject matter for clarification on the second speech.
at the end of the day.
I may make, I may come up and make a speech to you about some matter. Let's just say that we got the stream backed up down here at the bridge again.
Right.
And then you come back and ask me another question. I've already spoke on that subject matter, but I should be able to clarify my statements as a second speaker.
On a different subject, you mean?
No, same subject. You see, if you're limited to 5 minutes, once the time is ran out, it's finished. But a person should be able to readdress the subject, the subject matter a second time for clarification. Are you with me?
I understand what you're saying, and I thought of that. The problem is, that I see, is that it can get, it can get very lengthy, which is the reason we're wanting to limit it to 5
I
minutes.
understand that too.
Right. So I think the chair would be able to say, you've had your,
Safe?
yeah.
Okay. All right.
And I understand, maybe to readdress one time, I'm not sure.
Matt, if you change the word plus clarification to answer any subsequent questions from the commission.
Right.
You mean if we, okay.
Okay?
I will amend my motion, is that?
There's two motions hanging out here. There's a general motion for public comment at this time, and then there was your motion that you just did. You may want to withdraw both motions and just, or vote both motions down and clarify the third motion. You understand what I'm saying? I got a little jumbled there.
I kind of thought that was, because I thought that
Yeah.
Shirley had made a motion. And so I thought that we had to address that before we moved on. But I will withdraw my motion. Shirley, are you going to withdraw your motion?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Now, my new motion is to allow public comment during a time segment in the beginning of the meeting if someone wants to address the county commission about a subject not on the agenda, and they can also address the county commission on subjects that are on the agenda, and then if there's any questions by the county commission, then the person can readdress. That's my motion.
No time limit in there. You didn't put a time limit in there.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. A time limit of 5 minutes per speaker.
Have a motion on the floor. All in favor? Signify by saying aye. Aye.
Clarification, the second public comment is going to be at the end of the meeting, or are you saying in between the meetings?
It could be during the meeting. That person could, if we have questions, that person can then
During
respond.
the address.
Okay,
Right.
okay, I'm clear.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? Nay. Motion carried. Okay. We have to adjourn this meeting and open up a special edition. Am I correct, clerk?
This is just
According to this?
special addition to the regular agenda.
We have to adjourn this one and start a new one?
Just keep on going.
Keep going? Okay, all right. The next item is adoption of Robert's Rules of Order. I will entertain a motion and open for discussion. I need a motion to adopt Robert's Rules of Order.
I move that we adopt Robert's Rules of Order. I believe there is a version for small boards that can speed up a meeting.
But is it for county commission?
It's for any board under 12. Doesn't matter if it's county commission, board, whatever. It's for anybody that has a 12-member or under.
Have you checked into it? Is it going to be the county commissions?
When I was at the County Commission of Basic Training, the speaker, and his name,
John Sorrenti.
Sorrenti, yes, and he is with the auditors office, and he suggested that county commissions adopt the small board version. For example, passing the minutes. What he said was that it wouldn't take a motion and a second. It would simply take the president saying, if there is no objection to the minutes as presented, then they are approved. And I'm not sure that it would save a lot of time, but it could, and it can move the meeting along so that it doesn't drag out for forever. So that's the explanation that I received when I was in the county commissioner basic training.
That's not modified, that's the regular Robert's Rules of Order.
Yes.
Well, I think if you have more than 12 members,
The president of any board can declare, can ask, are there any comments on the minutes? That's the first thing he does. Are there any comments on the minutes that are presented to you? If no comments are heard, the minutes will stand approved as read, or as presented, or as published.
well, he indicated differently. He indicated that if you did not approve the small board's version, that it would have to be a motion and a second and then voted on, is what he indicated.
That's correct.
Is that the shortened version, is that available any place where we can view it?
Yes.
Sure, we have a vote.
It's actually in the regular copy,
It is.
in the gold book,
And-
but you
and
just
Robert's
do
Rules of Order.
you do it, the shortened version, or small board's version. It's
It
called.
just seems to me that it seems like in some of the issues that you had later last year, with some of the things that happened, that it would provide for a more orderly manner, especially with dealing with public comments, because doesn't that also provide for that? So there would actually be a procedure so that if someone, like that attorney from Equitable that stomped out of a meeting that said weren't following proper procedure, at least there would be guidelines in place that would actually protect the county commission against, possible problems. And it would give everybody the same
All he was
basis.
trying to
to
do
go.
was intimidate the county commission.
I know, but the point is, it would at least have something in place where it would protect everyone, not just the commissioners, but just provide for a proper way of dealing with it.
Like I say, the individual that suggested it, he was speaking primarily as to speeding up the meetings. So that's my understanding.
That's my understanding. Sure.
Do you need a
Just
second?
open for comment. We want to hear,
Do you need a
Okay.
second since it's already in the rule book?
if, we haven't adopted it, so we need a second, yeah. We haven't adopted it yet.
Second.
We have a motion.
You already had a motion.
I made a motion.
Yeah. We have a second. All in favor?
Excuse me, to clarify, this is a motion to adopt Robert Rules of Order, the version for small boards.
Yes.
Correct.
I just want to make sure that's,
Yeah.
so we're not just saying Robert Rules of Order.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Nay. Motion carried. Adopt Robert's Rules of Order, small boards version, adopted for the county commission. Just remember, and don't get all upset whenever we don't ask for a second, because we don't need it no more.
For the minutes.
For everything, any motion, we don't need a second. We just make a motion and take a vote and go on. Am I correct, Counselor?
Yes, you're correct. I mean, there's three of you anyway, so it
Yeah.
makes no sense to need
Right.
a second.
Right.
If you want a motion to pass, two of you are going to have to
Right.
agree on it, so.
Okay. You understand, Joe?
We can still have a mag.
Yeah, sure.
You can still vote.
You can still vote no, whatever you want. you know.
Fine with me.
Okay. All right. Pam Swagger, mapping and addressing.
Yes, I have some concerns about the new 911 addressing. I've had a lot of difficulty with changing my address over with Social Security, Medicare, my insurance, receiving medical packages. They keep telling me it is not a valid postal address. They cannot mail, they cannot ship, they cannot deliver to these addresses. I've had my address since August. I got a hard copy of it this past weekend. It's creating a lot of serious problems. I'd like to know, number one, when will it be completed? Can we get hard copies of our address sent to our postmaster? I've been in touch with him because I've been so concerned about missing packages and things. He says unless he has a hard copy from the 911 mapping, he can't put it in the postal system. That's why my Social Security and my Medicare and my medicine says it's not valid. It's not been registered into the postal system until 911 gives him a hard copy of our addresses. When can we expect this to get done?
I already spoke to Ashley about it, and she said you send hard copies to the post
Yeah, I
office.
mean, all the mapping is done. Yeah, it's through, we emailed our edit sheets and all that to Charleston, which then they send it back to the local post offices. And as far as Social Security, those kind of places, we have no control over those. I mean,
No, I understand you don't have control over it, but what I'm saying is they access the database and they say that it's not a valid postal address. And I spoke to our local postmaster and he says he can't put it in until he gets it from you guys for it to be in the system as a valid address.
yeah.
And as of last week, mine's still not in the postal system.
Yeah, okay.
It's not.
She sent you a paper, it has to be, because what she'll do is she'll pull it up on the computer, show your house and address. There's an edit sheet, and it's sent to Charleston, it shouldn't say,
Yeah.
once a year at least.
No, it isn't. No, it's not.
Well,
I just talked to him just last
unless
week.
you would call, well, some people have called later because maybe we didn't have it verified. And we may not have been sent the first go around because we didn't know. Some of them weren't verified. Some were, vacant post office or not post
I
office.
understand that, but my personal address as of last week still is not being recognized.
Well, and it does take a little while for it to get in the system too. But
How
did you,
long?
I don't know that. I send it to them and then when they do their thing, I don't know how they do it once I send it to them. When did you call me last? I mean, the first time.
The very first time in August, it took me a whole month to get an address because my original letter was blank.
Right.
Had no address
And you
on it.
probably were trying to call and probably couldn't get for it. because we
No.
were so busy.
And then in the last 2 weeks, I called 4 times. And I finally got it this past weekend.
Yeah, because I spoke to you Friday.
You called me
Or Monday.
after I called the third time.
What was your old mailing?
Route 2 Box 226.
And which I'll check them. And then I can just send your phone number. I'll give you a call.
Go call
And let
Charleston.
you know.
Well, I'd like to know because like I said, I've got medicine, I've got Medicare, I've
Right.
got Social Security. And it's not just me. I know many people that are having this problem and I told my son, they want to know when can we expect our addresses to be in the system?
Yeah.
Well, they're not.
If you can't even change your address,
No.
go to the system.
You can't even change your
I was
address
just up in that time change that,
for your driver's license.
if it's not in the system, they won't let you get your license up there. At the,
It's creating a lot of problems.
Gotta be in the system, that's what they're telling me.
Yeah. It should be.
We'll check.
Yeah, we'll check on it. And then I'll call
I'll
you.
be back to call Charleston. Just like I said, they send in the edit sheet, they send just not one, they send pages in, and then they transfer it to the post office.
And we're like sending the post office emails daily. If someone, like in your case, calls in and says, you know, maybe they're not getting their mail or something.
And our local post office says he hasn't heard from you.
May I ask a question?
James.
May I ask a question? Can people use their old address when they're having this problem?
Yeah.
You have to because they won't mail me packages at my new address. They say there's no such place.
So it seems like you just don't know when the cutover is.
No, I don't. And I have to have that straightened out with like Social Security and Medicare because I'm getting some things one way and some things the other, and they're telling me I can't have two addresses and one's not valid.
But you are getting something with your new address.
I've been getting other mail, but my trash bill won't even come through. They said they can't put it through either.
We're getting some with the new one.
Yeah, personal mail and a couple of mine, but my major ones, no, they won't come through. Okay, I would appreciate it. Thank you, Ralph.
You're welcome. Done?
She said I was supposed to sign that.
Thank you.
Oh, these are